Hello Zainey friends and welcome to Makeup and a Movie, where today we are doing The Lone Ranger meets Superman.
Yes.
Or
The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
I am recreating this look that you see right here. Kind of. To the best of my ability. You will understand after the break, but I am using this new product that I just found. It is Shea Moisture and it's found at Target or online, and I'll be using some shadows from that as well as the Kate Moss lipstick on my lips. So if you are interested in other makeup and movies, make sure you click the link that's going to come up right here for the playlist. And if you want to see how I did this look, just keep watching. So far on my look, I have done the foundation for L'Oreal True Match. I use the Natural Ivory Tone C2, which I think is still really light for my skin, but I'm using it because it's kind of like that pale skin thing that happens in the time period of the 60s where they have like really pale skin and, you know, everything's kind of washed out a little bit. So I'm trying to use this up anyway, so I decided to use that today. And then for my blush and highlighter, I'm using the City Color Be Matte blush to kind of give it a more of a pinkish tone. This stuff is awesome, but if you use it a little too much, then you get clown face, so you gotta be careful when and I'm also kind of trying this out for a highlighter. I got this from Bethany in a swap, and this is the Avon Glow Shimmer. It's really pretty, honestly. Like it has like a golden glow, but as you can tell, it's not very golden. It's just a little lightly shimmer, which is nice. As you saw from the picture from the beginning, she has a really simple makeup look, so I can probably describe it fairly quickly as we go. But what I did want to talk about is the eyeshadow that I'm using. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of Colourpop, and this is Get Lucky. It's kind of a gold shimmer tone. That's just going to go right on my lid. I'm just going to use my finger to apply that. Now the weird thing about this chick's makeup is that she has this like black just line of shadow right here, and that's it. Like, it's not blended out or anything, it's just like this line, right? So what I decided to do is get something kind of close to that, but instead of a black, do maybe like a darker green, because of the time period, like the colors were really in, right? So when I went to Target today, I found this line and I had never really paid much attention to it, and nobody on YouTube seems to talk about it, and that's the Shea Moisture makeup line. Now what I got was this palette that it costs $10, alright, but there's no makeup in it. It's basically like a Z palette, but I wanted to show you kind of the packaging that is in here. It has a lot of different colors that you can see. This one is $10. There's one that's half the size for like $5.99. And all I got is one shadow because that's all I wanted for the look. But it's magnetic on the bottom, and you can just stick it in there. And so you have, you know, the eyeshadows and blushes and lip colors. You just stick them all in this palette and open it up whenever you need it, just like a Z palette or anything else like that. And I thought this is an awesome idea at the drugstore, which they don't really have this at the drugstore that I've seen. You have to like get a Z palette online or something like that. So honestly, even just the container is pretty awesome for $10. I mean, you can't really beat that, and it's huge. But we're gonna try and see what Shea Moisture eyeshadow is actually going to do for this look. And the color that I'm using is called Carly, and it is kind of a greenish tone, almost teal but not quite, and it's very dark. So we're gonna try to do this. So let's just jump right into The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Going into this movie, I knew zero about it.
He knew nothing.
No idea what the movie was about. I've seen like the posters at the movie theater. I've heard it was based on a TV show. That's about it. I knew there was like spies. One was American, one was Russian, and it's in the 60s. That's all I know. Yep. Basically, a synopsis of what this movie is about. There's an American spy and a Russian spy. Both of their bosses kind of put them together for a greater cause that will benefit both of those countries, and that's preventing this one man who has found out how to make atomic bombs. Basically, some very rich people are going to pay him to do that, and then they're going to take the information from how to make that atomic bomb, and they're going to sell it to the Nazis. They were going to sell it, and so obviously the Americans and the Russians are like, can't have that happen. If someone's going to make it, it's going to be one of us. And so they put their best men to work in getting in there and getting that information back from them. So it becomes a very interesting team of two guys, very opposites. One's kind of like an American James Bond is what I kept thinking.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill.
Who is British.
Yeah.
Playing an American. Yep.
So there's that, right? One of those. And then you have Armie Hammer playing opposite him as the Russian, who he's American, but then he's playing Russian.
And then there's another girl.
Yes.
That kind of joins up with them.
Her father is the man that's creating this formula to create the atom bomb. And so they use her to kind of get in there and get that information from him and get them
So
in
she's
as well.
playing German, but she's Danish.
Yes.
You see how this is going now? Lots of people not in their original accents.
No.
So interesting, right?
I thought they were really all good. I really enjoyed all their performances in it. It's really fun. I thought there was a lot of parts that were really fun. The chases, the times when the American spy, played by Henry Cavill, his name is...
Solo.
Solo was his last name, yeah. He is a former thief. And so there's times in the movie where you get to see him kind of do his pickpocketing skills to work, and it's kind of fun. That was a fun part. So Armie Hammer as the Russian guy, he was really good. He was very intense at times because he definitely had some like mental issues going on. Like things would like trigger him and set him off.
I guess stuff that happened like in his childhood. They never really explained what that was, but
yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you what's going on here. What is interesting about this shadow, it's not as pigmented as I wanted it to be. I think it's because it's green and not black. So it's not as pigmented. It kind of is looking a little muddy. Not as precise as the one that's in the movie, but it's still interesting. So I feel like I have to go over it a few times in order to get it to work, but I really like that it feels creamy and it goes on pretty nicely. It's just trying to get the precise nature of how it was in the movie is a little hard. So what we're going to do is we're just going to fudge it and, you know, blend it a little bit more. Like, the woman in the movie has more, like, I have hooded eyes and she has more of a socket, so she can just stick that right in there, whereas I can't. Yeah. So I think that's part of my problem, but we're just going to keep going with this and see how it, hopefully I don't look like a total amateur when I'm doing this. But what I think I might do, though, is just take this color and kind of just blend it around the gold and then put more gold on top so that it looks a little more natural.
And I thought they all worked together really well. As actors, as a team, they all worked off of each other really, really well, and it was fun when they were together and kind of doing their verbal sparring with each other.
Right.
So, and those were fun scenes, and that's something that's kind of with Guy Ritchie in a way, is, you know, his those kind of scenes are really done well with him. If you've ever seen Sherlock or Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and movies like that he's done, those scenes are really well. And then there's some parts where, see, The Man from U.N.C.L.E, it kind of, it's a spy thriller, but it kind of is on the line of being like a goofy one, but also
kind of campy.
Yeah, campy. And when it does that stuff, it's really good and fun and entertaining and works well. Everything is going good in that lane. But then it tries to get serious spy movie, and that's when it's kind of like
meh. Can
we get back to the other stuff? So it didn't seem to really know which way it wanted to go.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I mean, if they did do a sequel, I would like to see it more into the campy stuff, because that's where it really worked well.
Yeah, kind of like how Sherlock did it, where like there was stuff that you're like, what is that? But they did a lot more of it, and they didn't take themselves seriously at all. And so, in my opinion, I kind of felt like that's where it should have headed. It really, it would have been a better movie. And it wasn't a bad movie, it just should have been, it would have been a better movie, I think. Yeah.
But it was still an interesting story, and had some good twist in it for a spy thriller type of thing. But the villain was interesting, because it wasn't your typical villain.
Yeah.
In it.
Yeah.
Not your just crazed madman who wants to rule the world.
It was a woman who was completely sane.
And she was smart.
Yeah.
She was actually really, really smart.
She was smart.
I mean, every time that someone tried to trick her, she was like on top of that. She's like, nope, get it out of there. Nope, I know what you're doing. And it was like, what?
It is true.
Those few times I was like, yeah. Because
Right.
you're like, okay, it's going that way, and that's just too easy that they're going to trick her that way. And she's like, I know that already. I know that trick. I know what you're doing.
Exactly. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk and just kind of highlight underneath my brow bone and maybe try to like just get that line more precise there. And then I think what I'm going to do is align my eyes, and I'm going to use on the top my Jessie's Girl liquid eyeliner in black, which is my holy grail. And then in the bottom, because of course very smoky eye, we're going to do the Urban Decay 24/7 eyeliner in black. In my waterline, just to kind of make it more eyes, and that is what we're doing now.
A Man from U.N.C.L.E. is based on a TV show that I've never heard of.
I've actually seen it.
Oh yeah?
I've seen a couple episodes of it, and I kind of liked it.
The TV show?
Yeah, I mean, it was campy, which is why I wanted the movie to be campy, honestly, I think.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad at all. Like, I really wish they had it on Netflix or Hulu, but they don't. Henry Cavill, his voice sounded almost exactly like the main guy from the TV show. Like, that's how he sounded.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt like he did a really good job with that, but he was almost robotic. I didn't connect with him enough like I did Armie Hammer's character. I really kind of felt more for him than I did.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, he was very like stereotypical, almost like an American James Bond kind of guy. Like, I'm gonna talk this way and I'm gonna get all the women. And his character wasn't the most exciting. Interesting enough, the character of Solo was originally gonna go to Tom Cruise.
No.
A lot of the stunts that were done by both Armie Hammer and Henry Cavill were done by themselves in this. So
Awesome.
Another movie with the guys doing their own stuff.
There's one time where they get together and like fight each other in a bathroom, and all I could think of was, this bathroom is the most amazing shade of green ever. And I don't know why it was green, but it was. Too, they just took out a bunch of stalls. I'm totally winging these out, like, even more than normal, just because
They were pretty
it's
expensive
mod.
Yeah.
Might as well do it. What's funny is I'm putting this eyeliner on over the Colourpop, and it is not as black as it usually is. I think because it's going on over a creamier shadow. So I'm gonna wait for it to dry. Maybe I'll go over a little bit more with this one after I'm done, and we'll see how that looks.
Okay, so actually, I have just found out that it seems that there's a long list of people that were considered to play Solo. Chris Pine,
Okay.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Ryan Gosling, Alexander Skarsgård, Ewan McGregor.
Okay, I could see Ewan McGregor doing it, but he might be too
that's
old.
Interesting. And George Clooney.
Too old.
Yeah. All of the clothing that was used in the film is actually vintage clothing. Very few items of clothing were, well, not all, sorry, but most. So actually, a few of the clothing had to be actually made for the movie. So a lot of it they just got already made. So all the clothing looked amazing in this movie.
It did.
The clothing, the cars, the look of the whole movie was actually really, really well done. I mean, it looked like a movie from the 60s. It was really cool.
Okay. We have come to the portion of our makeup in a movie where I'm going to do what I have not done in a very long time, and that is put on false lashes, everyone. This is the Ardell Naturals in 124 Black, and then I'm using the Kiss Adhesive Strip Lash glue. So what we're going to do is take a really short break while I get these ready and stick them on. That way if I have any mishaps, you won't see them. Alright, I am back, and I think it is successful. I actually like the way they look. They're not very, like, in your face big. I like how they're very natural looking. But what I am going to do is I am going to put on some of this. This is the Makeup Forever mascara. Makeup Forever mascara. It's got this like kind of an interesting like badang brush, like it's like a Christmas tree. Look at that. So I'm going to use that to kind of go over my natural lashes and underneath, and then I might go back over with that 24/7 eyeliner from Urban Decay over the lash band so that it kind of blends in with my eyes a little bit more.
Guy Ritchie said that he's the director and writer of this movie. He turned to movies like The Butch Cassidy and The Sundance Kid to get inspiration for mixing comedy with action, which is interesting because I feel like he did it okay in this movie.
Yeah, I don't really feel like it was one of his best, I mean, honestly.
If he wanted to do that, he could have watched Sherlock Holmes, which was a movie he did before.
Probably.
With that. Henry Cavill actually auditioned originally for the role of the Russian spy. And then the role of Gabby. Some of the people that auditioned for her that you might notice names for: Mia Wasikowska. She was Alice in Alice in Wonderland and Jane Eyre. Felicity Jones and Amelia Clark, who played Sarah Connor earlier this year.
Oh, she would have been okay too. Like,
yeah. I think those are some interesting choices. Yeah. Felicity Jones too. Did I say that? Felicity Jones?
You said Felicity Jones. Now, what has she been in? I can't remember.
One of my favorite movies of last year, Theory of Everything.
Yeah, she would have been good too.
Yeah, she made in one of the largest sound stages in Britain, which is, I believe, Pinewood Studios out there.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's pretty famous. This also, 60% of the film was shot on location in Italy. If you've seen it, you can definitely tell that was definitely Italy. It looked beautiful.
It did. So for my last thing, I'm going to use this lipstick. This is the Kate Moss in 102. I just wanted something that was really pink and pale, because in the time period that's what they wore, really, and especially in this movie, this look that she had, she wore a lot of this just pale pink.
A lot of different cool makeups, hairs, even like clothing styles in this
very
movie.
Mod.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Color blocked, and yeah.
And it was interesting because it was a, you know, something to me I find interesting is the whole throwback to like guys that like dress well. Like, this probably doesn't look that well right now, actually.
No.
The guys were arguing over, for the female character, like what would look good on her, and it was kind of like, really? Like, you wouldn't normally see that nowadays, like a couple of guys being like, no, this is gonna look good together, that belt doesn't match. Like, it was like,
right.
That's interesting.
I do kind of like the way that the lipstick looks, but I think I'm gonna put this on top. This is the Benefit Lollitint. I have like a little sample of it, and it's kind of like a purpley color, but I want to put it on top just to kind of see what it looks like.
So overall, I did enjoy the movie. It's not one of my favorites. It was entertaining, had some good times, had some boring times, but overall, I'd say like a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. It was a good time, pretty much.
Yeah.
So this is the final look for The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I think as far as the look goes, I'm actually, I'm happy with it. I don't think I'm like floored by it, but I'm happy with it. Considering that what I originally thought there was going to be nothing to it, and then we just kind of came to this, and the false eyelashes I feel like were a big step forward. I do like how they looked, and I might just wear false eyelashes more often now that I took this step, I think. If you are interested, again, in seeing any other videos like this, we do this pretty often, so make sure you're subscribed to our videos so you don't miss any of them. And, yeah, thank you for watching, and until next time, keep calm.
Stay zany.
Bye-bye.
I feel like that was done well.